Hey guys! I cut my own bangs. I think they turned out pretty good, actually. It was scary, it was frightening. They were down to here. When I was pulling them down, they were all the way here, and I was like, snip, snip, snip. And then I was like, snip, snip, snip. I was too afraid to just all at once, but I think they turned out good. Taking it. Today I wanted to talk to you about my trip to DC. I'm gonna start out by saying that DC is not my favorite city. It was eerie. There's these giant buildings. I mean, everything is so huge. And there's not enough people that would fit in those buildings. So it's like, there's these giant empty buildings, or close to empty, you know, the IRS, the EPA. It's a little too stark for me. I mean, we didn't go downtown or anything. We stayed in the touristy Smithsonian Capitol building area, the National Mall, it's called. We stayed there for the whole trip. We were only there a couple days. The buildings are ginormous. Like this one. Take a look at the sidewalk outside this building. The sidewalks are even gigantic. The Capitol building is huge. It's way bigger than I thought it was, and it reminded me of every disaster movie I've ever seen. The first day we were there, we walked all the way from the Capitol building down past the reflecting pool to the Lincoln Memorial. Text message. Okay, that was Laura texting, sorry. So anyways, we also passed by the botanical gardens and it had this cool thing out front. I think it's a wind turbine, and then they also had some topiary set up. On our walk from one end of the mall to the other, we passed by a bunch of geese. It was really cool being that close to geese. I mean, we have a lot of them here, but they just run away. You can't get near them. They didn't move, so it was really cool to be that close, but you had to walk through a minefield of poo. I got some pictures of the monument and the Lincoln Memorial. When I was up on the Lincoln Memorial, I got some footage from the view looking out, which was pretty sweet. My favorite part of the trip was going to the Smithsonian Museum of Natural History. It was amazing. I got some really cool pictures. I got one of a shark's tooth. I got one of some animals in the mammal part of the museum. Mammals? Mammies? What? We got some pictures from the dinosaur exhibit, which was really cool, and I swear to God, my mom and I were the only ones talking about how cute the T-Rex is because of Rex from Toy Story. We also saw these really cool fossils of a dinosaur with another one inside it. That sounded pornographic. It was a creature that had eaten another one and died before it had digested the smaller creature. I can't remember what it was actually that you're looking at there, but you can actually see the two skeletons and it's awesome. Set up throughout the museum, it was pretty funny. They had like little plaques from Night at the Museum for all the stuff that, you know, was in the movie with Ben Stiller, so that was pretty cool. We also went to the Air and Space Museum, which was really, really awesome because we actually got to see the first the Wright brothers plane. The actual plane. The canvas is different, but the actual body of the plane is what they actually flew on for that first little flight. It's so crazy because it's an air and space museum, so you literally see over the course of less than 100 years how it went from this little rickety thing that only went like this, little flyer, to a flipping spaceship that went to the moon. I was also surprised at how big some of the things were and how small some of them were. Like the little capsules that you see that they would parachute down from the space shuttles and land in the ocean, they're tiny. And then there were missiles, Russian missiles, that were ginormous. The Spirit of St. Louis was really cool because I'm a huge Amelia Earhart, and that was a stupid segue because that's Charles Lindbergh, but I'm a huge Amelia Earhart and Charles Lindbergh fan, and so it was cool to go through their little, you know, Spirit of St. Louis for Charles Lindbergh, and then they had a whole Amelia Earhart section, which wasn't finished, but it was cool. They had like her actual coat and everything, and it's just freaky that some of her belongings are in this museum, but they have no idea where the actual woman ended up. We also went to the National Archives. This was something my dad wanted to do and I wasn't really interested in, and I'm so glad I went. It was a really cool experience. The security there was insane. It was a little intimidating. I'm not one of those people that feels super safe when there's tons of security. I get a little freaked out when there's a lot of people with guns and stuff. So you couldn't take photos in there, unfortunately, but they had the Declaration of Independence. Really? They had the Declaration of Independence. They had the Declaration of Independence, they had the Constitution, they had the Magna Carta, they had the Nuremberg laws, which were signed by Hitler. You know, it was saying that the swastika was the flag, and taking, it was basically, the main thing was it was taking the rights away from the Jewish people as citizens. To see those papers actually physically signed by Adolf Hitler was creepy. He actually held these papers in his hand, and it's basically, you're looking at the death certificate of millions of people. And it got me choked up. You see it, and it's kind of like a movie, and then you see that, and it's the physical paper that he actually held in his hands and signed, saying it was okay to treat people like that it's like nauseating. It was very creepy to me. And there's also a Holocaust museum right there, and just, it was a really powerful thing I wasn't quite expecting. I didn't even know we were going to the archives or that these were even there. We're gonna go back to go to the American History Museum because I really, really, really want to go in there. We're gonna have to go back in the springtime, and they're gonna have their tulip festival and everything, so we're gonna go back for that. One thing we did that I'm really glad we did and I wanted to do was we went to the White House. Barack Obama is really nice. No, I'm kidding, he wasn't there. That would have been awesome. But I got a picture. So like, I had to pee. Alright? And in order to pee in the visitor center, I had to go through a metal detector and put my bag on the little x-ray conveyor belt just to go pee. And that wasn't even right by the White House. Oh, one thing, we stayed at the Capitol Skyline Hotel, and the toilet flushed, like, futuristically. I'll show you. Yeah, how annoying is that? You have to, like, reach underneath the thing and... God, you had to really press that thing too. That was annoying. So DC was definitely the weirdest city that I've seen. It is a crappy rainy day out, and I hope that it is nicer weather wherever you are, because it really sucks here, and my feet are completely asleep. I'll see you on Sunday. Someday.